Okay, this video is mainly focusing on handler position. There'll be a few other bits in there which we've covered before in other videos and during practices, but the main objective of this is to talk about handler positions. So we have pretty good handler position starting on this point, and as we play the video, we can see that shape is nice and solid. There's a poach over here, so this side wing is free. And the handler poach is slightly poached. When this disc gets moved sideways, um, the job of this wing at this moment is to look deep. As soon as they don't think they can get this deep throw, because this player and this player are poached, then they should look to throw across the green arrow and make that triangle again. So this player is poached. There's nothing up the line. So engage the engage the hat and engage the dump. Make the triangle. Because these two players are poached, then we can. But the fact is, he's in good handler position to get that disc and then throw the continuation because they didn't push up too much, and that means that we get this opportunity to flow down the break side. This handler can choose to attack, but if they're not going to get free, they should stop and keep the space again. But the disc does go, can carry on attacking. Wilson can carry on throwing. Tom shouldn't turn around here. He should stay connected with Wilson or Sonny. But instead, actually, he turns around and loses that connection to nobody else down the field. He does whip his head around pretty quickly. This again is good handler position over on this side of the field. Should push back now and imagine Sonny's the hat. Sonny at this point, it's all a bit clogged in the middle. Sonny at this point should see the poachers again and see that there's a triangle opportunity with that far wing and should throw the swing and go, and then Kachung would probably throw to Cecil and Sonny gets a continuation up the line, or Tom gets a continuation up the green arrow. But this field is quite narrow. The space is quite narrow now because Elvis is poaching. So we need to recognise when we have the poachers. We need to keep our good handler position, and that allows us to open up space. Again, here the handler positions are now out of position. Kachung's not too far away. He should move a little bit back. He's heading that direction. That's good, and we can do that triangle as we talked about. But equally, Wilson has pushed up on the break side with no hope of getting this disc. He's not connected. All he's doing is pulling this defender into a break side position. He should stay back and allow this lane to exist for the backhand or the flick coming round. So handler's pushing up too quickly, too early, not free. We don't want to get a little swing pass there. So now we've ended up with two handlers now going to be interacting with the disc and nobody behind them. So we're back to like the situation we don't really want, and eventually we get frustrated and turn over. When we have poachers like this, like Elvis consistently poached against Kachung, so Kachung needs to get the disc with momentum and throw an open throw and go hard. Like if he keeps poaching and we just throw swings, we're not gonna progress the disc. We need to keep the disc moving at different angles, create those triangles to generate opportunity against the poach rather than just throwing it backwards and forwards. So that's the first point. Second point, just going to zoom in, is the pull. We've got a good initial shape. The handler's staying back and letting the hat and the wing do some dribbling, and the deep's trying to get downfield as quick as possible to generate some separation so they can get a continuation. Notice that they're throwing the disc forwards every single time and they're not having their back to the next connection of players. Manages to get it through and then get a connection with a simple connection with a deep. It doesn't have to be a big connection. Notice that we have this game line. We've made what, 6 or 7 easy passes and we're past halfway. That's a really good initial pull play. It slows down here, but gets the continuation on the inside, and then it's a nice easy score. Because we had all that momentum going up pretty much towards their brick mark, it became quite an easy score. Next point. The hat misses catching the pull here, and really want the hat to catch the pull, and the handlers to stay behind. Because they don't catch the pull, he ends up receiving the disc with his back to everybody, and then it just takes. He should make the connection with the wing. I know that this player is free, but I'd prefer these two to do a bit of dribbling and this player to head a bit deeper. In the end, nothing happens, and we lose our shape. We've now got 3 defenders in the line and 3 handlers in the line because of that, and that means that we just end up moving the disc side to side a lot of the time, which is not great. Though in this case, it does end up getting a 1-2 throw, which is great, and Cecil solves the problem by attacking up the line through the middle in this case because the hat is back. This should go. This pass should go. Like, Cecil is very free. This is what we talked about. The disc has been thrown towards him, staying connected to that player. The inside pass goes, which is not bad. Unfortunately, there's a travel called on Cecil. Maybe that's why he was so free. And everybody goes back. But I really like that open pass just to go. So we've got a few things to think about in this moment. This handler should go back, drop into a handler position, hopefully taking the mark with him. If the mark doesn't go with him, then throw the dump. Tom should also be heading back into the backfield, and then that gives hopefully Wilson. If I stay poaching, then Cecil can throw to Wilson, and then Cecil can go up the line and get the line pass again. And if not, then hopefully Sonny can get the disc in the middle of the field. So again, trying to generate that triangle, but that handler position needs to be correct in order to do that. Wilson should try to look to that line. I know the momentum's going the wrong way, but Sonny does turn in the wrong direction, but it does work out. So I mean, that's the thing. Like, you can turn in the wrong direction, it does work out, but if we try to turn in the right direction, we probably can still throw that. Well, so it does turn out, except for sad face because it gets dropped, even though it was a great throw. The other team picks up possession, and a wing brings it to the back, and the handler's position is good. Toe's getting into the hat position. It could be better if he could get into the hat position a bit earlier. We need to practice getting into our positions pretty quickly. The far wing is poached quite a lot here, and I think in this situation we should be looking at the hat or the deep coming back instantly, but if not, then the dump should go. I mean, we don't want to throw it straight away because there's not much space, but what happens here, which is the most detrimental thing, is Choco, instead of staying out where the arrow head is, he comes around to the break side, which allows his defender to creep in and say, yeah, you can throw it straight back, but now I'm stopping lots of stuff, and Toe doesn't get a free shot at getting the disc. Whereas if Choco had stayed round the other side, then Cecil would have had a bit more honest, Toe would have had a bit of space, Elvis would have had a bit of space. By coming around this side, it's really clogged up the play. So again, handler position is really important to generate space for other people. In the end, tries to throw the disc through in the middle, but turns over because the space just disappeared on him, and then they had to make a rush decision. Okay, next point. We've got a bit of a juggle. Handler position is good. Lewis, I need to be Talking about myself in the third person. I need to be further back here to allow this green arrow pass to go to Christian. It does go eventually, but I could have been in a better position. Here, we're either going to throw this disc to Wharton here, or a fake it, so Sonny bites on it, and then allow that triangle to happen. We end up just with the disc here and sort of getting Sonny's poaching, clogging, needs some communication. If Wharton's the handler, he needs to come back. If he's not the handler, Nick needs to come back, and Wharton needs to go a bit wider. But this is Nick's player, which is causing the problem. So communication. He does get the disc over the top of Sonny. That's a risky pass. If Sonny jumps at that moment, then it's going to be a turnover. And then Christian does head down the line. Tom's on the wrong side, so Christian should use his body to get open on this side. So Christian does end up getting down the line, goes off camera a little bit, unfortunately. No one in front. Well, Elvis is in front of him. Gets the disc inside. Handler position here, not well. It's okay. It's interesting here actually that I push up. Probably shouldn't, but my defender is away from me, and I see the opportunity to get in the dump position a bit easier. And this is a bit like the hat cut into this position. It's important that if I get the disc in this dump position, then I throw to Wharton and Wharton can throw round, and Wharton needs to just give me a bit of space to do that. And that works because this defender on Wharton sort of gets drawn into my cut because they see it out of the corner of the eye. So it just gives an easy quick swing, get the disc moving, and then a good triangle again, and then a really nice score. Good starting shape. Maybe a little bit further back on the handler's part. I don't mind the deeps being a bit further deep because they're isolated, as long as they can be hooked too easily. Nice easy disc. Toe should turn outside and Ryan should get this pop pass, but it doesn't get it. Defender overcommits, so faking it and coming back is okay. Handler should stay. I should stay. That's okay. We lost our hat for a little bit. That should when two players switch like that, we should hit the middle of them. So as the disc comes here, these two defenders switch, and Ryan does the right thing. A bit slow maybe, the connection was a bit slow between the two players, but Ryan does the right thing and steps back into the middle between the two defenders that are switching. So he sees them switching, so he now needs to step into that space. Maybe he doesn't in this occasion, can't remember. Let's see. Step between the two to get the disc between the two. Oh no, the disc goes round. I should look to head towards a handler position from here, though doing a 1-2 and then coming back round is also okay. But I shouldn't run to the break side. It does end up going out. Christian should come back here and handle to help people get their shape, but because he clears through, we've got no handlers really. Definitely not two handlers in this space. I'm a little bit far away. No handlers in this space at the moment. Now obviously once the disc goes forwards, it's a lot easier to regain those handlers. So Wharton stays, I stay. This is a far better position. We're connected, we're level with each other, and we're far enough away from the play. So that's what we need to do more often. I shouldn't go up the line here. I'm not going to win. I'm just closing. I mean, he's made facial he's facing me, but Choco should be shouting for it. Does get out over the side. Good flow pass. Don't mind Nick doing what he did. He's now got that good handler positions. Great. So the handler was far enough back there to throw across the field, which is quite nice. No, one handler again, because Nick left. So really, when we had two handlers, we seemed to do a lot better generally. I mean, we did do okay with one handler occasionally, but we need to try to have those two handlers more often. Okay, new point. This time a winger's got the disc, and most of the defenders are pretty honest in this, but the shape is pretty good. Ryan should see that Toe is free here and pull out of his cut. He does eventually, I think, if I remember correctly, but it's a bit slow. And then Christian's thrown the disc should really be driving off that backhand to get this second pass, and then Choco will be free deep, and Ryan's probably going to be free deep as well, but didn't get enough separation. Risky throw really through that gap, but works out. And Christian again should be seeing that he's free of his person, could cut across his person a bit, seal the person off from the lane, and also Elvis can be really running hard because he's very free of his defender. Does engage now. This is what I mean about sealing off. Christian, instead of running flat here, could run in a little bit and then away, and that would mean that Carl Chung was behind him, and that he would be able to get thrown to. You can see that there's a little bit of separation between these two players at the moment, and now there's a lot of separation. The player is not really interested in marking the thrower and has wandered away, and this player Choco does exactly the right thing and just stands still. Like, you run away from me, I'm not going to follow you, I'm going to take the space and get a nice simple pass to the break side, which will really help with continuation. Elvis runs across, and it's very simple. And that tempo was quite slow in that point, and that's good. We don't have to be rush. Okay, let's start at this point. So wing starting with position. These two handler positions are good. A good starting point. Try to be a little bit active, like moving around in that area rather than hands on hips. Keep your defender engaged. In fact, the back deep comes into the hat position and gets the disc. So this is poached. This is recognised that he can go deep. Elvis could have stayed, and this Choco got the disc on the open side, but because Elvis is going, then Choco gets the disc in the hat position. And then Toe needs to be coming back on this side. You can see that I pushed off and trying to get separation down this side. Toe has made that cut and got the disc on the far side, and now 1, 2, 3 players should be running hard to get triangles, which they do, and make 2 simple passes, and then Toe gets the disc in the end zone. So it was good spacing in that one and good flow. This one, good initial spacing. You can see that this defender and this defender have poached in from their players, but it doesn't help because the handler then gets the disc going with forward momentum and gets a nice lead pass. So even though they started off that far back, the handler was able to get a lead pass into the middle. Tom should stay connected to Wilson here and be looking to score in that front corner, but turns away initially, which means that Wilson's less likely to get the disc because they disconnect for a little bit. Gets the pop pass. Now Wilson should score definitely in that corner. actually doesn't cut hard enough and doesn't get it. Triangle's good here. Sonny's in a reasonable position, and we're missing a wing. But there are two triangles there, which is good. You can see where that wing should be. In this situation, because I'm poaching, this handler should be clear the other way, and that's communication. Sonny eventually takes control and runs across, and then that means that this handler needs to reposition. Sonny, through to Sonny, there's nothing down the line, so should get connected with this triangle again. It's a bit small, this triangle. Fish clears out, which he shouldn't do, and it means that we lose the triangle, lose the connections. We end up with only one connection, which is the same as stack, which is what we don't want. We want many connections. There's no wing, that's gone. I mean, if we're into stack, end zone, it's a little bit different. I didn't hear the call, but this now is 1-on-1 and get a slight point block, and it's a turnover. Next point. We've got a reasonable shape, and Sonny as a handler should probably be further back to allow that pass to go to Sonny Lai as the hat position, or Kachung should try to throw it. I mean, the force is going to be forwards, which means this IO opens up for the deep a lot. So this inside out is actually really easy. But Wharton is facing towards the disc, and the offensive player on this side, I think it's Cecil, should be going around the back behind him. He does run towards him. It actually does get free because he's got more momentum, but actually I'd prefer him not to do that and to be running up the line in that situation. But it does work out. Gets to this point, has more momentum and goes up the line. Ken should be thinking about coming across into this dead space, or Wilson once the pass goes, and then Ken can stay connected and maybe get up the line himself. There's a deep pass going here, so Wilson gets poached off and then probably try to change direction here and get the under due to the change of direction of Choco. Does in the middle of the field. Wants to look for this return pass here, but the defender's doing a pretty good job. But Pish is also free and could be looking to attack that space. Does get the Cecil throw, and then Cecil throw down the middle, which is fine because there's only two players deep and there was enough space, but you've got to be careful sometimes with that throw. We did a drill the other day to practice this. Sonny is very poached, and Toe can only see forward, so his body position is poor. We want to be able to throw this disc around. I don't think we need to go and score with it. I think we just need to advance the disc. I'd prefer it to be a 90% throw instead of a 90% half field throw rather than a 70% huck or 80% huck. Just would like not to shoot for the end zone, especially if the other person is poaching a little bit. We don't need to hit the end zone straight away, especially as a small team. You get big defenders coming in maybe. Toe needs to make a decision whether he takes the under or Sonny because they're good, well spaced. The handlers are all good positions here. It means that Sonny gets this disc, and then Christian's vision is all forwards, so Sonny Lai is exploiting the fact that he's gone, and then that gets a bigger throw. So that was a good example of not necessarily needing to throw the huck to Sonny So, just use Sonny So as that position as a one pass, and then look for the next one. Started off with the wing position. Handlers are in good positions. Throwing the inside out undercut, same as sideline trap play, and then head hard down the line, and Tom throws a nice return pass. No, I'm facing forwards. I instantly decide that I can't throw this forward throw. Players started to turn away anyway, so rather than getting trapped on sideline, keeping that triangle and moving it back. These two players should be communicating at this point to help each other out. A big gap between them, which Sonny Lai has exploited. Now these two players should be communicating to switch. This is a very easy switch. Both players are separated by quite a distance, and both their players are crossing over in the middle, but they don't switch, and that allows, well, one of them switched and one of them didn't. That allows both of them now to be in the middle, and they're people they're marking miles away from them. So it had the opposite effect of what would happen if they switch. Karchung gets the disc here, but turns the wrong way. He should turn inwards and keep connection with Pish. Pish, this player is free. There's no one near him, so definitely should stay connected. You can see the throw is coming from a player that's not got a defender. Stay connected. Do some dribbling with them. Handler's pushing up too far here. It didn't matter, but try to stay back. I saw that and started to come back around as a handler, but we need to not have those handler positions. This is a sideline trap start. This handler, again, is heading in the wrong direction. It's pushing up towards his poached defender. He should just get the disc in the backfield. What actually happens is Choco ends up getting the disc in between, but they're quite close to each other, which makes it a bit dangerous. If Ryan had just stepped away, seen what Choco was doing, then the risk would have been a lot lower. But it does go. Morton throws a nice little scuba, I think. Maybe a lefty scuba. And really, Ryan should have been in the backfield here, rather than be in this position. Makes the right cut to the middle, and then we're creating a triangle. So Jocko's getting a return pass on the triangle. Another triangle opportunity towards Nick. He's free. Choco's facing forwards. Wharton probably should stop at this point to let Nick have that space. But the disc goes back to Choco. Stays with Choco, sorry. We've got to imagine here that Choco is a wing, or the hat, and one of these players has to head back into handler position. We've only got one handler at the moment. Still only got one handler. Lots of poaching going off, lots of people away from their defenders at this moment, and swinging the disc across the field at this point would definitely help. No, Wharton comes back into the handler spot, but there was no handler. Again, there's only one handler in this spot, so people pushing downfield a bit too much. Good flow pass from Elvis. Toe should see this and accelerate into this space because of that pass from Elvis. You can see Sonny looking at Elvis a bit as well, trying to switch. Fortunately, the final throw was too far and it turned over. Good inside out throw, well, down the line throw to the deep off the sideline, and then that pass is tight, but it goes. Like, it's such a short distance, it's really hard to defend. So you'd be surprised what you can get out over a very short distance. turns away from Cecil for a little bit, like to him to stay connected. Handlers, Sonny's staying, Sonny Lai staying, Wilson should stay. Keep the shape at the moment. You have to imagine that the player of the disc most of the time is a wing or a hat. The disc gets thrown over the head and it's a turnover. Sideline start position. We've got some poaching, so they should be looking at each other, communicating. So should Kar Chun. What are we doing here? Kar Chun can come down the line, Sonny can come back, Cecil can go deep, or these two, Cecil could go deep and Sonny could come back if Kar Chun stays still. But we need to look at each other and communicate. That does end up happening naturally, but the far wing, who should be able to see the whole field, should keep their space. Their defender is closer. It does eventually realise and pull out, which is good, but it'd be nice to recognise that earlier. Sonny awkwardly catches this disc, which means that he misses the flow opportunity and turns the wrong way. Tom does a really good job with doing a quick 1-2, and Sonny So here should be recognising that we're going to run out of handlers. As soon as Tom gets the disc, he's imagining he's the hat. Sonny Lai does recognise this though and starts heading back towards the handler position. It'd be better if Sonny So had done it because the spacing would have been better. Again a 1-2. At this moment in time, Sonny Lai does a really good job here because he can see the field and Elvis can't, and does a little turn. Elvis does well to adjust and get this turn, but because this triangle goes, Elvis gets caught out on the next throw, and Sonny Lai whips his head around to make that connection really quickly, gets the disc, and there's now 3 offensive players all on the good side for them, the wrong side for the defense, heading towards the end zone. Kar Chun needs to look at throwing to Sonny So here, or the dump early gets it to Sonny Lai, sorry, and then it's just again a little bit of a communication error at the end. So I think in that video you saw that there was times when we had really good spacing and handler position, and there were times when there wasn't. And when there was good handler position, there would seem to be more options. Is it going to be perfect all the time? Definitely not. Once we're in a lot of motion, then there is going to be hopefully flow and lots of triangles forming and the disc moving forwards. But we need people to recognize that we need handlers, at least one handler all the time, and then the majority of the time have 2 handlers back. If we're starting with the hats and wings with the disc off the pull, then people in handler position should be there. Should it be the same handlers the whole point? No. It should be rotating through. So when a handler does decide to attack up the line, someone else needs to fill. And that's probably going to come from a wing or a hat position. So I hope that video helps us look at how we can keep our handler positions better. Obviously we're going to cover this at training and do some more drills to help us with this spacing and positioning. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching it, and I'll see you at practice.